Good evening, everyone. Yeah, good evening. I hope I'm loud and clear enough for everyone to hear me. You are welcome to MCTNAIJA webinar, stay at home webinar, I'd like to call it. So today I'll be walking us through and discussing Azure Identity Protection. Yeah, so I do not have a bulky slides. I have few slides, but I'm going to be working more with demo, and I'd like this discussion to be very interactive because we are all here to learn and understand how this works. No one is an island of knowledge. So, but it's going to be more of demo. So just give me a minute while I share my screen with you and we start. Thank you as you listen. Yeah. So I hope you can see my screen. Hello,
Yes,
can
we
everyone?
can.
Okay,
Yes, we can see. We can see.
fine. So, good evening once again, and you're welcome. So, identity protection. Let me introduce myself first. I am Dean Adekunle, Cloud Security Engineer. I work with Hashem Limited, and I'm not an entity yet, so I would, but I'm sure to do justice to this. So, before we go deep into identity protection, I would like to start first with a brief definition of what identity protection is and what identity theft is. So I noticed that passwords are meant to protect your identity. So your identity is like the key thing you are trying to protect. Like everyone have an identity. Your name is your identity. So your username is obviously your identity. As it's called user ID. Then your password is to protect that identity. So basically, password is as useless as someone fasting without praying, because if I have your password, I don't even know your identity. How would I use it? Like, I can have any random password. Password 123 is someone's password, but whose password? So that's how it works. But then identity protection, what it helps us do is we want to be able to investigate. We want to be able to see what's going on, who signed in and signed out, and how long someone signed in from where they are signed in. So a short definition for identity theft basically is when someone gains an unauthorized access to your identity, to your data, your financial information, your personal information, your data, can be your credit card, the logon details, and obviously they'll use this to purchase things online and extort you. Then maybe your BVN also, because all of these things are key to all of us. So that's basically what identity theft is. So now Microsoft brought out something to protect your identity. I remember that I know most of the IT world for more than 5 years, 10 years. So I can understand before Azure came into place, how do we check for user logon, user logout, and the likes? How do we troubleshoot issues like that? Like an IT admin to know when the user last log on from where you have to create a group policy, you have to go to your event viewer, you have to check your audit logs and so on. And it's not even as comprehensive as you'd like it to be. So we had Azure Identity Protection. All of this is bundled into this tool to help us secure our identity. So it uses a machine learning algorithm to help us automatically identify a risk, help us investigate that risk, and give us ways to remediate that risk. So another cool thing about it is you are not just isolated with Microsoft. You can export this data and you can use it in a third party to maybe a SIM solution and the likes to further investigate. So that's what it gives you. Then In-depth identity protection, that's Azure Identity Protection. So there's these three things that it does for you. Like I said earlier in the previous slide, it helps you investigate, remediate, and identify. So what kind of risk does it identify? So presently, Microsoft identified these six kind of risk. A user with leaked credentials. So if you know what that means, leaked credentials is basically your credentials has been exposed and it's online everywhere, because typically an attacker, when they have someone's credential, like someone very from someone very maybe famous or someone they can extort, they put this credential online in dark web or on the likes to sell it. So it means you have a leaked credential and someone can buy it and use it for malicious activities. So Microsoft, in cooperation with other industry, helps you look around the World Wide Web and see if there's any leaked credential. They try to compare it with the Active Directory to see if it matches any of them. If it matches them, then you get a prompt like there's a detection that okay, someone in your organization have a leaked credential, and they give you ways to remediate that. So next, you have the sign in from anonymous IP. That is when someone signs in from an IP that's not visible. So as well, attackers use this method also because they don't want you to know where they are attacking you from. They hide their IP. So this also, identity protection will help you identify it. To also help you identify unfamiliar location when someone is signing in from a new device or from a new location that is unusual, it helps you identify this. Then it helps you also identify IP addresses with malicious activities. So, for instance, maybe your PC is communicating with a bot and you know this Bitcoin mining and likes. So it helps you identify these situations too. And there's also impossible travel, because you cannot imagine someone in Lagos and the next 2 minutes is in Asia. So things like this, it helps you identify it. Then also from infected devices. So basically, there's a lot to all of this, but I'm just going to just scratch the top, because all of these have their risk level, their priority level, and their severity level. Some of them are high, like the leaked credential is very high because what it means is your identity, your username, your password has been exposed. So anybody can use it for anything. So it's always very high risk. When I go to the dashboard, you're going to see all of these things I'm saying. Why anonymous IP is also medium. I think we have just one low. That's if you are signing in from an infected device. I think that's low risk, but still there are ways to remediate that. So also the investigation, you need something to investigate with. So you need reports, like lots of reports. Identity protection gives you that. Unlike then when I don't know how you generate your report from your, okay, you have to export the event viewer logs, and yeah, that's so boring. Compared to now where they give this is given to you in a CSV file, or where you can easily see and track activities. So you have the reports on the risky users, you have the reports on the risky sign-ins and the risky detections. Microsoft gives you all of these, and as well, you can export this report, like I said earlier. Then part of it, so you have two types of policy, because these six are divided into these two types. It's either a user risk or a sign-in risk. So there are two types of policies you can create here to help you remediate all of this risk. So do anybody have any question before we move on? Because I do not have lots of slides. So if there is no question, I'm just going to move on. Then, so let's dive into demo. Like I said, my slides are very short. I think we should all see it real life or real time. So I'm going to go into the Azure portal. Let me minimize this, my Azure portal. Okay. So this is what your Azure portal looks like typically. This is my Is there a question, please? Before,
I
uh,
just have
oh, okay, okay.
a very first slide.
Sorry.
Can you go back
Uh,
to the first
okay,
slide?
okay.
The very
Oh, okay.
identity.
Said, can you go back to the slide, Adekunle?
Okay, this one.
No,
This one.
no. Can you explain again?
Okay, you want me to explain this again?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So I started with identity theft. So I am saying that identity theft is what the attacker typically do. They try to steal your identity. And when I say steal your identity, what I said earlier is passwords are meant to protect our identity. It's not like they are the crucial thing. It is your identity that is very, very crucial. That's why you have passwords. So someone is trying to steal your password. Obviously, when they are not only trying to steal your password, they are trying to steal your credentials. That's your user sign in and your password. So what Microsoft Identity Protection gives you is a way to see who is trying to do this, investigate more, and remediate these things. I don't know if that makes sense to you. Are you with me?
Fine.
Sorry,
I'm
I
fine.
can hear.
I'm moving.
Okay,
I'm fine. Fine.
okay, 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 okay.
I'm moving. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So identity protection gives you these three things. Yeah, help you identify the risk, help you investigate, and help you remediate. So that's why I came here and had to state out the three things. So this first one you see here is when it is identifying, the kind of risk is going to identify. Yeah, when you want to investigate, you need reports to investigate. That's why you have this. Then when you want to remediate, you need policies to remediate. That's why you have this. So in essence, we are trying to protect your identities. So, and now that you are working from home, users would, in your organization, probably users sign in using VPNs or sign in using any technology. So there are chances that you might assume the sign in is legit when it's not legit. So things like this is what he identified. If we go to the demo, I am going to explain further. So let me just show you. And in this demo, I'm going to assume some scenarios. So I'm going to assume the anonymous login, and I think I can assume the unfamiliar location. Yeah, I wish I can do the leaked credentials, but I cannot. And also, can I do okay, okay, let's see. And we are also going to create a policy and see what happens. You can either block a user, you can either ask the user to sign in with 2FA, that's multi-factor authentication. Yeah, you grant access, but you need them to verify their identity using a second factor level of authentication. So either of those. So this is what your identity protection dashboard gives you. So if you go to your Azure portal, you just type in identity protection, it pops out, you click it, you come here to your overview. So let's start with the overview. So what the overview gives you is a very rich view of what you have here in your organization. So presently in my organization, um, I have high risk users, three of them. I have medium risk users. So I click to the high risk users. So you'd see the users that have it. So this guy Han is having a high risk use is a high risk user, and the last day is on yesterday. I guess this is it. Yesterday. Then there's Judge. There's Ida. So if you want to see more, you can click on this user. You'd be able to see more where the user like signed in from. You can okay. Let me explain what this gives you. You can give Microsoft feedbacks when you see issues like because there's obviously going to be false positives, there's going to be true positives, there are going to be false negatives and the likes. So you give them feedback. If this is true, you would confirm that yes, this user has been compromised. That's the feedback you're giving Microsoft. If this is not true, you can dismiss this. That means it's a false positive, so you dismiss it. And also if it's true, if it's true and you want to take action immediately, you can just block the user, or you can even investigate using Azure ATP. So this is a lot for you. And also you can see, okay, let's go back. So there's also medium risk users. You see the users that have medium risk. Yeah, then unprotected risky sign-ins. You see it also. So all of this dashboard gives you rich visibility of what your organization has really. So for instance, I'm seeing all my organization, the risky users, the users that have signed in, and what they've been signing in through, and the location. So I made some tests yesterday. I'm going to do the same today, and so you see it. But also, there's a caveat to this that Microsoft gave. Those detections, those anonymous leaked credential, some of them are real time, but the real time is not ASAP. The real time is between 5 to 10 minutes before you get to see them here. Then there's the one that's offline, like the leaked credentials. That's for offline. For the offline, you need about 4 hours, I think, 4 to 10 hours before you get to see them here. So you might not see them immediately, but if you refresh a couple of times, you would see some sign-ins. So for instance, I know we saw Han. Han is a very high-risk user. If I click on Han, before I click on Han, this is the IP Han is logged in from. This is the location. This is the US. Yes, this is the US. He logged in from a Windows 10 machine. This is the browser. Is at risk. It's high. Then the risk level is medium. There are other users here too. This guy, this is their IP. This Jad. This is I think this is Germany. Or yes, this. Oh, okay. But this guy is Russia. It's a medium risk. But let's click on Han and let's see what it gives us. So this is what the details for Han. So you can see that where Han logged on to. Okay. This is the IP, like you have seen location. The status, it was successful. It's giving you detail to let you know. Then also the application is trying to use is the Microsoft Office 365 portal. So imagine you have all of this and you're able to see. And also let's go back. I want to show us something. So let's move down to, after the overview, let's move down to the protect. The protect is the same as the remediation steps you can carry out. You can create users risk policy. I'm going to create this policy. I've created it already, so I'm just going to turn it on and we are going to test. But also I'm going to try to sign in as Han from an anonymous location. I'm going to use a Tor browser, and I think I can also sign in from a new device. I can change my device. We'll see all that when we're going. So these are the policy you can create. And you can also enforce MFA registration if you think the user have been compromised also. So you can add the user here. You can make your user or add a user, then require MFA registration. So once it pop up, the user will be required to be registered their MFA just to verify that they are the same person trying to sign in. So this is the report I was talking about. The risky user reports, these are just the users that are at risk in my organization. We can see the office location from Redmond. We can see the department this user is, and we can see the user's phone number. So in essence, from here, you can just call the user and be like, madam, where are you signing in from? Is everything okay? Are you using the VPN? Are you signing from an affected device? And so on. So you can quickly take action here, or you can even trigger a password reset from here. So this is as easy as it gets for you. You don't have to go to group policy and the likes to start looking for scripts. or to start exporting and analyzing your event via logs. So it's as easy as this. So if I move down to risky sign-ins, so now I'm saying the sign-ins that are risky. Someone is signing in and it's risky. And also, I don't know, we noticed there's this failure here, right? So this failure means that the user was not able to sign in. So probably the user tried the wrong password a couple of times. So you can still ignore this, but someone tried to sign in. That's what it means. But this success means the user was successful. There's also interrupted. So let's see what this guy gives us. So this guy failure, but it's fine. Signing was blocked because it came from an IP address malicious activities. So this was yesterday when I tried to test it. I created a policy and it blocked the user. We are going to see the same experience here too. So I think let me quickly turn on this policy. So when I want to test, so let me just show you. I added one user and it's going to be our lab rat Han. Then let me cancel it. Let me show you the conditions. I'm saying when the user risk is medium and above. So you have an option to choose if you want it to be low, if you want it to be medium and above, if you want it to be high. So like I said earlier, I don't know if you can remember, I said some of these risk, they have their level of severity and priority. They have their priority. So some of them are high, some of them are medium, some of them are low. So that's what determines this condition. Then the access, what do I want to do? Do I want to block the user, or do I want to grant the user access and require the user to change their password or do something else? But this is what you have here is just require password change. So the user will be forced to change their password. So let me cancel it. Let me just turn this on for now and save. So that's saved. So let me just go through this policy so you see the options you have. This is the same thing. You had your user or the groups or your organization, if you may. Then it's a sign-in policy risk. That's the condition. If it's low and above, or if it's medium, or if it's high, then here you want to grant the user access, but you want the user to be required to give a second level authentication just to verify it's the same person, sorry. Or you just want to block the user, let the user call you. So do we have any questions before we continue? So in absence of questions, I'll just continue. So let's go back to the report, the risky sign-ins. So let me click any of this guy. Let me see. So yeah, so this is one other, that same hand guy. Another day is trying to use this application to sign in to my tenant or my organization. It was successful. So you are able to see this and you are able to confirm if it's. So you can also see things like device info. You can see the risk info, anonymous IP, like, oh, this person is signing in from an hidden IP. What actions do you want to take? You can also see MFA info. This guy is not signed up for my MFA, so you have no results. That's why it's advisable you have MFA. Then conditional access. You can also see that there are some policies that's been applied to this, the exchange, the teams, and the exchange online. Then the reports. If there are reports, you get your reports here. So this is just the basic info. Then let's go to risk detection. So also there's one thing I want to point out. This is detection for 7 days. I think the maximum you can have here is 90 days, but for risky user and risky signing, you have 30 days. So if I want to see what, let me use Han again. The detection type here, we can also see that this looks more comprehensive because this is taking risky users and risky signing together. So the detection type here is anonymous IP, malicious IP, typical travel, anonymous, like you see all those things, so you can quickly take action if you need to. Also, if I click here, I'm able to see details of what's going on. So this is the client, the signing client that the user tried signing with. So you're able to see this also. Then also this gives you a way to notify you, because sometimes you cannot always go to this dashboard to check all of this. You want to get alerts, you want to get an email when things happen. So you can configure this notification, you can add your IT team to it, or if your IT administrator, you can include them. So you want to get alerts for only risk data. Now, do we have any questions? Okay. I think we don't. Do we? Okay. So let me just continue. So you want to get alerts for high risk only, or you want to get from the IT admin that you just include the users. So also Microsoft sent you, obviously do you this, they sent you a weekly digest of security policies, security informations that can help you stay informed, so you get this. So without further ado, let me start with the testing. So I've turned on this policy and I've saved it. So let's test it. So I'm going to use, I think I have a Tor browser here. So this is Tor browser. Because I configured HAN and I said I want to block. Sorry, do we have any question? Okay. So, and I said I want to block anything that is risky. So I'm signing into my portal. So basically, when using the Tor browser, you're hiding your IP because Tor are mostly used by, can I say hackers? So let's see if it's going to block him or not. Then also, let me do this. So I want to also sign in from devices from another device, maybe a new device. So I'm going to do that with this guy. I'm going to put them side by side. Then I'm going to, let me go to my developer. So, sorry. Okay. So because I'm using, let me use this guy. So I'm going to go here, then, sorry. Then I'm going to do this. So yeah, I'm going to sign in as something else, like I'm signing in from another device entirely. So let me just do that here. So we have, let me do that here, let me do that here. So I just want us to see the experience of what this guy gives us. So I'm going to select, I don't want custom. So I'm going to select, should I use BlackBerry? No. Okay, let me use a Mac then, or an iPhone. So let me sign in as Han here first. So I'm saying Han. So this is Han. And also just to let us understand that this thing, it monitors your environment, like it tries to understand your user behavior. So first time you configure identity protection, it might take up to 30 days to understand where user log in from, how the devices they log in with. So it might take up to 30 days to understand all those processes. So within those 30 days, chances are you're not going to get alert like you should, because it's still trying to learn user behaviors. And also, for instance, now that everybody has to work from home and they connect through VPN. The first time you might trigger an alert, obviously, but after then, if it's consecutive, he understands that okay, this user is currently away and trying to log in through the VPN. So with time, it doesn't. And also, it learns a new device. It takes about 14 days for it to learn new device and new login behavior. So it monitors for 14 days. If it's consecutive, then it just assumes that that signing is legit. So I'm going to sign in as Han now. Then let me sign in. Let's see if it's going to allow. So this is what the user says. Because I already created a policy that says that when any of my users is signing in from a anonymous IP or any suspicious activities, please, anything medium and above, it should just block you. That's the policy. So this is what the user gets. So the user is not able to sign in. The user would have to contact the IT admin to allow the user sign in. So that is, I think that explains what the identity protection helps us do. So even if your credentials is compromised and someone is trying to sign in, because the person is trying to sign in from an unknown device that has not been registered or from an IP address that is suspicious, is going to block that user. You can also allow the user and require second level authentication, but it depends on what your organization supports. So I'm also going to do the same for this guy. Yeah. So I'm going to try to sign in. So I'm signing in like I am using an iPhone. So this is a new device, right? So this is a new device. Let's see if it's going to allow him also. But I don't think we set up this policy for this, but let's just try. Signs in, that's fine. We're just going to check the logs, like the reports, to see. It's going to give us all of this.
Dean, your @ sign.
Yeah?
The @ sign.
Yes. Oh, okay. Okay. If there's any question, I'd like it to be interactive. Let's talk about it. It's a really cool tool to use, and now you're at home. It's very
on Microsoft.
Very advisable that you use this. Okay, my Microsoft is incorrect. Okay. So let's see what happens. So we see, because I'm signing it from an iPhone and this user Han doesn't use an iPhone. All the signing that he has done recently is through, so if we go back to this guy, so see, it's through, the device is Windows 10. Sorry, I think this is where I see. So the device is Windows 10, Windows 10 device operating system. So now I'm using a Mac OS, and Azure ATP is wondering what's going on, and I've set a policy that says you should just block anything I don't know. So, okay, I think this is correct. This is 538. So yeah, 535, we have something. So I think this is when I'm trying to log in with the Tor browser. That's an anonymous IP. So let's see if it's going to. So voila, this is it. So detection type, anonymous IP address, is not going to allow you. So this is what this gives you. So you can also download these reports. You can use it with your SIEM solution. If you have an Azure Sentinel, if you have IBM QRadar or any of those guys, if you have them, you can use them to check. So also, it's supposed to give me another blocked sign-in for this iPhone. For the iPhone, it's going to trigger that. So, like I said earlier, it takes about 5 to 10 minutes to do that. So, but it's going to come up. So, why that's going on? I think there are some things that I just want to point out. So, like I said earlier, you have the feedback that you can give Microsoft to make them understand that the sign-in is fine. It's not compromised. So that also helps them understand your user behavior if you know all of this. Then, is there any question with this process?
Oh,
Any question? Any question?
yes, then. Hello.
Okay. Hello, I can hear you.
Okay. Because you have checked iPhone.
Sorry.
Hello.
Now you are breaking. I can hear you. I can hear you now.
Okay. I said because you checked iPhone in the course of your configuration.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
why
Because
you're unable. That was why you're unable to connect.
yes, that's why I'm unable to log in because I checked iPhone.
Yes.
So I'm using. Okay.
I'm not
So I'm
saying.
using. Yes, yes, it is. It is. It is.
Is it not possible that the configuration allow you to do a kind of location? You see the location where somebody is trying to use your identity. You see
Yes.
the IP address of the system they are trying to, because it is possible that you decide to use an IP after now. You will now go back to check all those information.
Okay. I think you are breaking, but with what I hear, so I don't know. I think you are saying that um, does he detect IP addresses too?
And
I don't.
location.
Yes, yes, yes. It does. It does. The first one I did, this Tor browser, this one, is detecting that the IP address is an anonymous IP address. That is why it is blocked. Why this one? It detected that it's from a device that he is not used to. That is why it's blocked. I don't know if you get the difference now.
I do.
Okay.
But what of if the person is trying? If hello.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can
Hello?
hear you. I can hear you. Please.
What of if the person is using a system and not a phone? Will he accept?
Yes, yes, yes. It depends. So the reason. So basically, sorry, I used a phone. It can be okay. It can be a Mac. So I can use a Mac. So if the user has been using a Windows OS since, and now he suddenly just switched to a Mac OS, you are going to get a trigger like this because this is not the usual user behavior. Or if the user sign in from a BlackBerry device or an Android device. So I just use this iPhone as an example. So it is any device the Azure Identity Protection is not used to. So it triggers. That's what I'm trying to say. So if we look at this report, sorry, let me go back to my report. If we look at this report, let's go back to signing report. If we look at this report, you can see that this user field, one, the location is, this looks like Germany or Russia. The operating system is a Windows 10, obviously, but because I tweaked it, so it's an iPhone. Okay, maybe I should sign in as this user again somewhere else. Let me sign in as this user here, so you see what I'm saying. Also, let me go to detections. So you're saying this detection type anonymous IP, an IP that wasn't unknown, that wasn't known, that wasn't visible. So it's assuming someone is trying to mask their IP to attack you. So it's saying it is malicious. That's why it's blocking it. Let me go here. Let me sign in as. Um, so let me sign in as this guy here. Okay, we can see this guy is also blocked. Let me see if I have spoiled something here also. Okay. So basically, what this is saying is you can always go back to your report to see why it's blocking your users. So you can see failures. Oh, sorry, let me sign in again as the guy somewhere. Okay. Sorry, I think I break something. So I'm trying to refresh so I can see all the failures. So it gives me all the failures, all the failures, all the failures. Then also, okay, if there's time, would like to even simulate it when you're signing in from a VPN. So you can, but I think there's no time. So let me go back to my policy. So do we have any other questions before we continue? Do we have questions?
Hello, I have a question.
Yes, please.
Yes,
Yes,
I
please.
have a question.
Okay.
Yes, what about if a user is a legitimate user and then is logging in from a masked IP?
Yeah, it's going to block the user also. It's going to block the user. Sorry, you were saying something.
So what can the user do to log on?
So it is best practice is not to block your users, basically, because sometimes it's a legit thing. So you might just require them to change their password or use 2FA. So let's do this. You can just require them to change that. So the use 2FA is just to verify that, okay, you are the right user. It's just that you are using something else. So that's
Okay.
I hope that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
I have another question.
Okay, please.
I can say I'm new to Office 365. So
okay.
I want to understand the concept behind Azure for management of Office 365.
Okay, so I'm going to go to the licensing part, but before I go there, let me just quickly show you something. So let me close this guy. So what I'm using presently is an Azure Active Directory Azure Identity Protection. So for every Office 365 tenant you can have the basic Azure Active Directory that comes with it. So that helps you manage your users. So you can also manage your users also from Office 365. Sorry. Sorry, I'm trying to log in here. So you can also manage your users from Office 365. Let me show that to you here. So this is Office 365. I don't know if you are familiar with this.
Yeah, yes, a bit, yes.
Okay, so I'll just put it side by side for you to see. So you have your users here also, where you can create users, you can see users, you can do the likes. But also on your Azure, if we go home, and if I go to Azure Active Directory, I can see users also. I can create groups. So this is just Active Directory. It's an identity. It's not the resource part of this now. It's just an identity management part of it. Okay. So these are also my users. Yeah, I can create a new user here. It's going to automatically populate there. I can create a new user there. It's also going to automatically populate here. I can reset passwords. I can do lots. But then because there's Premium 1, Premium 2, it gives you added features. like this I'm using now. This identity protection, you need an Active Directory P2 for you to do it, for you to do this. You have identity governance also. I think you are going to need a P2 also to do this. You have PIM also, privileged identity management. You also need a P2. So it's like an upgrade to compare to what you have in your Office 365. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yes, that makes sense.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Please, do we have any other question?
So, sorry, my last question, please.
No problem.
Yes. Do you have any beginner class for system admin Office 365?
Yes, there are lots of.
Okay.
Sorry.
So let me come in there. Olushola. Okay, so let me come in there. For this session, we're planning also for this virtual meetup. I think we got some feedback that some people told us they are new to Office 365, and so they will want the fundamental courses. Now we will be doing that. Hopefully, I mean, let me not use hopefully, because I'm sure a lot of us want to return back to work. But if this lockdown extends till next week, we are going to be doing the fundamental series from Office 365, which will take you a bit of the cloud computing, taking you to Azure, and then take you to Office 365. So it's more like a 5-day series pack. I mean, series that we're going to do for you. And then we also have some other sections that are coming up tomorrow that is also going to be talking about security. So more of what we want to drive is that for some of us that say we are new to Office 365, we'll give you the fundamentals. And for the people that are also like masters in it already, and then all they're just trying to put on top of the productivity tools they're using is security. That's what some of this session is focused on, most specifically because we are working from home now. We're trying to see how we can add more security features in place, so that the fact that the whole world is crying about COVID-19 does not mean that the hackers or the attackers are sitting. They are actively still doing what they want to do and still trying to attack. But how can we protect our network? How can we protect our users? How can we protect also our customers that connect with us and the partners? So this whole series is more of saying we want to focus on security. However, we will look for how we will put in the slots for the fundamentals for you, starting from next week.
Okay. Oh, thank you very much.
Hello, Jumoke.
Yes,
Hello,
ma.
Jumoke.
Yes, ma. Yes, ma.
I just are there. Please, I want to ask, do I have this functionality on my own Office 365?
Okay, so if you buy the EMS right now, which is what one of the things we recommended, which you want to do now, you said you will have this functionality on it. But on the basis of Office 365, you don't have that.
Yeah,
So the Office 365, yes, you don't have it on Office 365 because Office 365. Ma?
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Okay, so Office 365 is more of the productivity tool. Now, this is a solution that comes bundled with components in Enterprise Mobility plus Security Suite. So they are more of saying that more of the security components. And now that there is no more Office 365, because it's now M365, so it is a whole lot of saying you are bringing productivity with security together in a single component. That's what this is all about. So we'll also, maybe next week when we're doing some of this session, we want to be telling you the difference, maybe go deep dive into the different components that make the M365, so that you guys will understand better where this comes in and where Office 365 also stands.
Okay, so lastly, the notification part of it. So I just want to show this. So for someone asked about the user signing in. So this guy is able to sign in now from a normal, it's assumed it's a regular PC has been signing in from an location. So he's able to sign in here on my left. So on my right is an admin that I configured notification for. So we can see that there's a notification that says user at risk detected. So you are able to also get this. This is the part where I said you can configure your notifications. So anywhere you get this. So there, you can also click here to check the details. It's going to take you back to your dashboard. There's also other to see to further investigate. Okay. So do we have any questions before we move to the last slide? Any question, please? So in absence of questions, so I cannot go without saying, without discussing or sharing with us a little of the licensing part. I'm not so deep into this, but at least I can share a little. Like I was saying that you have different plans. You have the premium 2, the premium 1, and the basic. So this basic come with any Office 365. So, but this either comes to your E5. I think this comes with E5. Then this, I think E3, maybe your M365 E3, or this E5, or it comes to your EMS plan. That's your that's Microsoft Security Solution package itself. So you get that you have two types of plan. You have the E3 and you have the E5. So the P1 comes with the E3, while the P2 comes with E5. If you want to go deep, you can also check other things that this gives you and what the Microsoft Security Solution package gives you. That's EMS. So if you look at this, you see the user risk policy. Those are the two. This is one of the policy you can use to remediate. So you have it here in the P2, but you don't have it in the P1, and you don't have it here. So you will not be able to create a policy like this to remediate. You have to manually. You get a dashboard, obviously. Then you have to manually probably call the user or go and reset the user password. You can also create the sign-in policy here also, P1 and the free package, but you can do it on your P2. Yeah, also it gives you the chance to automatically take action. Exactly, you require second factor authentication, or they should reset their password, or you want to just block. Then as for the report, the first one shows us the overview where you'd see everything in whole in a single form. You have it here in the P2, but you don't have it in the P1 and the free package. The risky users, risky sign-in detection also, you have a limited information. So what this is telling you is that you are going to see it, but you are not going to see in detail. It's going to tell you that there's more information here, but you would not be able to see the more information. That's what this tells you. And the notification, like I just showed you, you can get notification. You can only use it on a P2 plan. Then also weekly, that is for Microsoft. Then if you want to enforce MFA for a user, you can only get in the P2. So the P2 gives you everything in the full package. So do we have any question? Any question?
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Hello. As far as
Hello.
I'm concerned, it has no benefit.
You'll be able to see, but you'll not be able to remediate. You'll not be able to investigate further.
What's the purpose of saying and not security report limited information?
Yes.
Limited information, signing, limited information, risk detection, limited. So as far as I'm concerned, P1 should not even come up at all.
Okay. So yes, I agree with what you've said, Ma. And then I think what these are always feedbacks we can get back to Microsoft to see, at least in some this is why all of this session is important, so that we can as much as possible give them feedback on some things that, okay, from the user perspective, this is what they're looking at and all of that. So is your point is well taken, and we'll take that as part of the feedback we can answer to Microsoft also. Maybe in the nearest future, they can also put a little bit, even if it is not that advanced as much, maybe a little information as against maybe just no at all. So those are kind of feedbacks we can give to them. If there's still going to be questions, please, we'll employ everyone to put the questions in the chat box, and we'll make sure as much as possible to answer those questions and get back to you. We are behind, we are almost getting to the wrap up time, and then we feel this session, thank you Adekunle once again for this session. It has been very informative. I mean, to some extent, I've guessed one or two things we've learned here. Against tomorrow's session, I've also chatted in the, I've put it on the chat window. There's going to be a speaker. This speaker is a Microsoft staff, and he used to work as a subject expert. He's a technical solution specialist on modern workspace and Azure infrastructure as a service for the MEA region. Now, he saw what we've been doing, and he said he's interested. He sent a message to us yesterday that we want to talk on Microsoft Cloud App Security and Microsoft Defender Advanced Threat Protection. So he will be the one talking tomorrow, the same time. So I'm going to be sending out the invite again, once again, for us to join. Also, for the recording, for the recording, it will be made available, and then we will send a link to everybody so where you can watch on the YouTube channel. The recording for yesterday's session also is made available on the YouTube channel. Please follow our channel, and then you can subscribe so that you can get updates. Also, we also left in the chat window, and I'm putting that once again. Kindly fill this evaluation form, not because we want to just get to hear from you. We also want to know how we can improve and other topics of interest that you want us to treat. So we don't want this lockdown to be boring for everyone. We want it to be as useful as possible, and to know that at the end of the day, by the time we return back to work, one of the things we might want to be putting in place is some of the security features that we've learned and some of the knowledge we've gathered in all of this virtual meetup. So once again, I appreciate everyone for being on this call, and if we don't have any other question, I want to call it a day. Do have a good night rest, and thank you for attending.